Hi, we're going to run through how to do the lrealty newsletter today. So there's a shortcut in my bookmark bar there to lrealty. So we'll click on that to open it up. It will log in automatically with Lorraine's username and password. So we click sign in. This is done once a week, usually every Wednesday. Now, there is a menu across the top, and we're interested in the campaign section, subscribers, and the reports. Also across to the side here, we have this drop-down menu, which gives you access to a few different things. One you would use the most is the library, which is where photographs are saved that have been used in previous emails and other things like that. So normally I repeat email that I sent the previous week and just amend it accordingly, use it as sort of a template. So to do that, we go to our campaigns menu. Now, email campaign, so we're going to put on the plus button here to create a new email. You get the choice to either create a new email or you can copy an existing one, which is what I like to do. So we're going to copy existing. This is the heading or subject line on the last one that we did. If you open the drop-down box, you can see a few other previous ones that have been through the system. So I'm still going to stick with that heading, and we'll just copy the last one we did. So we just select that, and you can type whatever heading you like, but we're going to lifestyle first, realty, new listing alert. Call it, as we're going to put Miranda Street on for the first time. Now, down here we have the option to refresh the properties that are on the email. So if we click that, it will automatically sync with any changes that have been made to properties since the last week, anything that's been updated on realestate.com.au, etc. So we usually choose that. Copy and start editing. Okay, so it's going to have a little think. And it will open up into our preset template, which you can see has a nice photo of the beach. Once this finishes turning, the agent's first name and last name up there will be filled with either Lorraine or Anita once the send process has gone through. So we scroll down, we have this first section here, which is the opening paragraph that people will see. You saw there it had click to edit, so we can go in here and we can change anything that's on here. So the last time we wrote, we were letting people know we had a new listing coming up in Elanora, but we didn't give out the address or anything, and we didn't have any photos at that point. So now we can update that a bit by letting people know that we have a new home at Miranda Street, Elanora, that's going to be open for the first time on Saturday. So we will amend this a bit. That is the wrong photo, so we're going to put in the correct photo this time. Okay, so I'll just do this. Will be more of a demonstration one, so things may not be exactly as they end up being sent, but it gives you a demonstration as how to compile a newsletter. Now, we want to include a photograph from the recent professional photos that were taken, which are saved on the G drive in the computer. Now, to get that into the newsletter, there's a little menu bar up here. In the end, we've got insert editor image. Now, to put a photo in, it looks in the image library. So we have to firstly put the photo in there. Of course, I haven't actually uploaded any yet. So to do that, cancel. We go off to our little button menu here. Choose the library. It doesn't matter if you duck in and out of the email, nothing will be changed. And we're going to import one of the professional photos that were taken the other day. Go down to library. And we want to upload a file. So we look in the G drive, shared drive, sales, listing and photos, Miranda Street. photographs. We only need to use the web size ones, and it will probably upload more quickly. Waiting for that folder to open. Just thinking. Okay, we'll just make those thumbnails larger so we can get a better idea which would be the best photo to put on. I think we'll go with this one here where it's showing the living areas opening out onto the nice goal area. So we can upload that straight into the image library. There's our photo. So now that that's in, we can go back to our template we were working on, email, which is here, the last one. It's today's date, and we're going to edit. Okay, so we want to slot our photo in here. So back to our little photo icon, source. This is going to take us back to the photo library, and it will be the first one we come to. So we double click on that and choose use. Now, image description. Well, I usually just type the street address of the photo. And I'm going to make the dimensions a bit smaller, otherwise it will come out enormous and people open it on their phone especially. If you tab across to the next field, it will automatically constrain the proportions, which keeps the photo in dimensions and doesn't make it blurry or anything. So there's our photo there. Okay. So we're going to edit our text a little bit and just say that this house will be open to view Saturday, 11:30, 12. So we've got a little bit of description. Contact Lorraine for more details. I'm going to take out that arrange a viewing because we've got an open home. Now, I always put the current open homes online here for people to see. So this coming Saturday is the 18th. First one will be our new property in Miranda Street, which is going to be open at 11:30, 12 p.m. Just change the address there. Street. And the other open home we have is 6 of 24 Panorama Drive, which is going to be open from 12:30 to 1 p.m. Now, if we had any rentals coming up, rental open homes coming up, I would also include them there, and I just add rentals in there so that people are aware that it's a rental property, not a sale. We don't have any rental open homes coming up, so we'll delete that. The next two paragraphs are standardised, they always stay in. Now we come to our section of interesting news items. So I normally try to put in 3, maybe 4 articles regarding rentals, not rentals, real estate-based things or finance even, and then we'll add in something if there's a community event happening or just something of interest, and there could be some kind of light-hearted story of something that's happened that we source mostly from realestate.com.au. I've actually got this story here about rent control from newsletter that's come in that gets emailed to me automatically. So if we wanted to add another story, we can scroll down here to add, and we can find anything I may have set aside in the newsletter folder of my inbox. We go over here, there's my newsletter folder. Okay, so I used that letter from the REIQ, came from the Recon Daily newsletter, and we'll just add something in here from the We Are Gold Coast recent newsletter. Okay, so let's say we're interested in volunteering on the Gold Coast. We can click on that article. When it opens up, we're going to put a direct link back to this so people can get more information. So I'm going to copy the URL relating to that article. and go back to my lrealty, and I'm going to, when I click on add, it gives me another menu on the side. Here's my field for the URL, paste it in there, and we'll just use the same heading, copy and paste. And I usually use the opening paragraph or two from the article, and then if people are interested, they can click on the more information, and they'll go there and they can find out what it is they're interested in. Now, that's come out incredibly large, which is not ideal. We can adjust the font if we move our article down, our little menu comes up. Okay, so you can bold and obviously italics. This one here, headings, we choose heading 5. That might be about the right size. Yes, not too in face. That looks like it's bold. No, that's anyway. When you're happy with that, you could add a photograph if you wanted to. There's a spot there to click an image. We're just going to go and. So once you've collated enough articles that you're interested with, which, like I say, 3 or 4 business-like ones, maybe something light-hearted. I've just put this one here from the Lions Club as an example of something we might do for the community. You can rearrange the order of them if you want by clicking on the little snowflake icon. And if I wanted to put my volunteering one first, I will drag it up there and swap it around. Put it back again if you want. Click Save Changes. So it's quite simple to use. The next section of the newsletter is the advertisements for our available properties. So it's picked up exactly what was on last week's newsletter. Miranda Street wasn't there. Miranda Street is still not on the net, so it won't be showing there. So if we scroll through, you can see here we've got details about the property. We want to add in the current open time. Well, that one doesn't have any open times because it's now gone under contract. So we're going to move Panorama Drive, which is open for inspection, closer to the top. But first we're going to put the open times in. So we'll click on our edit pencil. Our side menu opens up. It's actually had a price reduction, which has filtered through from realestate.com.au, so that's good. Now, inspection date. If we click here, it tells us what has been entered on realestate.com.au. Why it won't let you just click on that and it autofills, I don't know. You have to type it in manually. So it says there it's going to be open 12:30 to 1 on the 18th. So we type that in. 18th Feb 3, 12:30 p.m. to 1. Scroll down, I save changes. When it's saved, if you scroll a bit further, you can see that it's added that open time in there. Now, we would like that to be up the top of the list because it is the open home. So to rearrange the order of the properties, we're going to go down here to these icons and we're going to choose Manage Properties. If you choose Refresh, it will revert it back to whatever was online, which you may not want to do, so try and avoid in Refresh accidentally. We choose Manage Properties, we get this other page here that shows us the order. Now, our properties that are active are always in the large property section. We want Panorama Drive at the top of the list, so we can just hold that one there and drag it up the top. Both the other two are under contract, so we'll leave them in the list, but it doesn't matter if they're in that order. Medium Properties is our rental section. So we have recently leased Musgrave Street. The only available rental we have is Tiana Close, which is actually under application. So if we had an open time for that, we could have added it in. If we want to move a property out of the large property section and across to small property because it's since settled, you can easily just drag them across and rearrange the order. Easy as that. And once you're happy with that, you just click Save Changes. And you can see now that Panorama Drive is going to come first in the list. Now, we also have the option to choose another property to add into that list or create a property. Now, if you recently added a property on realestate.com.au and it hasn't had time to filter through and we want it to go out on the newsletter, you can create it from scratch. So if I click that button, it gives me the similar menu to the news article one, but it has all the fields regarding properties. Now, you always have to be careful to change the heading because it defaults to auction. So if you wanted something to go in new properties, for instance, you would choose that from the list. You can choose an image, which may be on your computer or it may be in the library. We will put a little bit of information about Miranda Street on just for the purpose of the exercise. So just to show you how it works, I shall go to the image library and we can choose that photo, accept. Now we have to do everything manually, so you try to keep it in consistent with how the other ones view. So the address obviously is 12 Miranda Street, Aura. It's a 3-bedroom home, 1 bathroom and 2-car garaging. The price display is going to be expressions of interest. The title is the heading that displays on the internet, so we're just going to have it as something like Central Illinois Home. And then you would type a bit of interesting information about the property there. And when you're happy with that, you click Add. And that will put it at the bottom of the list. So if you wanted to move it, you would do what I just did before, manage properties and move it around. So you can see now it's in the list, even though it wasn't there before. Once you're happy with your newsletter, if you've got enough news articles, you want to see what it's going to look like, the end result, you can do a preview with this button here. And you can choose whether you want to view it as though people are looking at it on their desktop or looking at it on their phone with the mobile preview. It's waiting. Okay, so it defaults to showing you the desktop preview, so you can scroll down. The photo's not too big and in your face, so that was good. Scroll through. Yes, that looks fine. We switch over to the mobile preview. It's a little bit different for people who are looking at it on a device. And I'm not sure why, but the open for home inspection image always comes out huge on that one. Okay, if you want to go back and if you think, oh no, I forgot something, oh no, that's a mistake, I should correct that, you can just go back to Email Builder and you can make any edits that you need to do. So if you wanted to go through and change anything, if you wanted to edit you can see there it says click to edit. If we wanted to put another dot point, for instance, in here, we can just click in the space and you can add in some extra information if that's what you want to do. When you're happy with the newsletter and you want to send it, we always do a test first, and I usually send it to myself, to my personal email, and I'll just double check that the links work, that it looks presentable, etc. So we choose send. Because it didn't bring up the menu. And it will give you choices of who you want to send it to based on the subscribers that have been input into the lrealty database. So I'm going to send it to me personally. It's only going to my email address, so I'm going to choose specific email addresses. If this was the final one that was ready to go, you would select groups, and we always choose Anita's groups and Lorraine's groups, and it will show you there's 1,944 people in total would receive that email. But I'm not going to do that because this is a demonstration one. I'm just going to send it to myself. So I can type my email address in here. There we go, it's autofill because I'm saved. Now, next asks you, who do you want to send it from? We always choose subscribers agent because as we're sending it to 2 different groups, Anita's contacts will have Anita's name up here. Lorraine's will say this is coming from Lorraine. So we always choose subscribers agent. Next, if you had a change of heart and you wanted to put a different subject line on there, you can change it there now. Say, don't want the word alert there after all, you can alter that at this point. Next, it asks you, when do you want to send this email? My computer time is 3:26. For some reason, that's saying 3:25. So I would choose probably a few minutes in the future. We want to go at 3:28. Next. Now, it just confirms what I have said. We're sending the list. There's the heading. It's going to go in a few minutes. It's going to come from Anita. And it's only going to one recipient, which is me. And then I click send. When it's finished thinking, it will tell you that you've been successful, hopefully. Yes, nice work. Okay. You can, once you've seen that then on your own email address and you think that looks fantastic, I'm happy to send that, you can go back to Email Builder and it will take you back to the list of all the recently sent emails. Nothing's happening in a hurry today. Oh. And you can do the send process again, or we could have gone back to the dashboard if we wanted to. That's going to show you the list of all the recently sent ones. Okay, this is the one I've just sent. It's pending because we haven't reached the time yet that I said I wanted it to go. This is another test I did earlier. If you didn't like something about the email that you received, you can go into your actions menu and you can edit it. So if a link didn't work, for instance, or you've thought of another news article you would prefer to put in, you can go back in and you can make alterations and then send it to your final recipients afterwards. Go in there and I can change that email if I want to. So that is how you send an iRealty newsletter. See the other instructions on iRealty for how to add subscribers and a little bit more information about adding photos and articles in the library.